Hello, everyone, and welcome to Solshow. My name is Sol, and I will be your captain in today's review. Today, we are talking about Jungle Cruise. This is a film like Pirates of the Caribbean, like Tomorrowland, is based off a Walt Disney theme park ride. And even more action packed than this movie was the original park ride. Oh, let me tell you, I can tell you about all the fun times I had on the Jungle Cruise, the countless times I just got right back in line. I sat in my seat and there was a lot of corny jokes, but you were in there for the action, man. Jungle Cruise, oh my god, it doesn't get better than that. But it was only inevitable that such a based theme park ride would inevitably get the Pirates of the Caribbean treatment, and they actually produced a actually pretty good movie here. I'm gonna say this is not too shabby. This is not too shabby. I don't think this is gonna be the next Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. I don't think people or the audience is there anymore, and there are a couple other flaws I think bring it down. Um, Pirates of the Caribbean is like a lightning in a bottle scenario, and that's just the way it is. But Jungle Cruise is about Emily Blunt, who is, your Indiana Jones discoverer, adventure, explorer, and she wants to find this magical tree. It's a magical tree that produces flowers that could solve medicine, sure. And her doofus of a brother over here is gonna team up with riverboat captain Dwayne Johnson. That's a fun idea, right? Yeah, and there's a lot of adventure, and they're being chased by Nazis and a cursed group of people. They're not skeletons. They're not that cursed. It's not the exact same curse. It's a different curse. Yeah, it was a very interesting movie. It had a lot of things going on, but despite all that, I feel I felt like this film could have been a lot more. But in the end, what we got, I wish it was less. This is a 2-hour film, could have been 90 minutes, and I will address my problems with the film first. First off, I think having so many moving parts bogged it down because in the end, all I cared about was Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson. I just want to see them have good chemistry and just have a fun adventure. And I want them to do action set pieces and blah, 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 blah. But once I'm like, okay, now I got to pay attention to these Nazis running around. I'm not joking, by the way. That's not like the 21st century definition of Nazi. They're literal Nazis. They're Nazis trying to win the war via medicine. It's great. Anyway, but you have these Nazis, and then you have these cursed guys, and the conflict just kind of feels like it's bubbling up, and the way it concludes is kind of lame. And on top of that, there's a giant jungle cat under the ship. There's these the tribe of people from like hundreds of years ago who like live in this jungle. You have a lot of different moving parts, and I don't think that helped the film. Another thing, I don't think Dwayne Johnson is the right guy for this movie. And that's not to say that he was bad or that he didn't like knock it out of the park. If anything, I think he did a great job for what Dwayne Johnson is. When you pick Dwayne Johnson for a movie, you're going to get a very similar performance to all his other movies, but he is going to do stunts. He is going to do all that dope shit that he's good for. That's why he's actor, millionaire, fucking entrepreneur. That's why he's The Rock. But I don't think, like, if you casted The Rock as Jack Sparrow, it's not gonna, like, it wouldn't have been this hit franchise, right? Because he would have just done the same thing he always does. And there was a lot of room for his character to do things. He's like Spanish, and I don't know how a Samoan black dude is Spanish, but okay, he's Spanish. And this is a slight spoiler. He also is like involved with this curse, and they don't really do a whole lot with that. He's still the same character after that, and I don't know. I felt like there was more to be desired here. I felt like if this was gonna be the next Pirates of the Caribbean, you needed more than just Dwayne Johnson showing up, being witty and fun, and doing the action. Like, I need more from him. Emily Blunt, perfect. She's perfect. then I'll go into more detail. She is spunky. She's supposed to be like this very adventurous, but at the same time, she's not super trustworthy. You know, they play into that a lot. Um, all of her dialogue is pretty great. You can tell that like she was like the favorite person in the script. Like this is more about her than it is Dwayne Johnson. And then you had her brother, who's just kind of there to make jokes. He's a pussyfoot beta who's just gonna be like, oh my god. He's just gonna look at everything going on and be like, oh my god, what's happening? He's just gonna make snide remarks. That's his character. That's fine, I guess. The bad guy, the Nazi guy, was played by Todd from Breaking Bad, and he was actually really fun. I think it was a little much. I don't think we needed a Nazi in this film, but they went for it and they didn't do a terrible job. I just don't think it was again, I just don't think that's what this film needed. But with what we have, it's not terrible. He does a fine job of being this snarky, somewhat annoying, sinister Nazi who's just there to potentially murder you at any point. I guess that actor just likes playing the worst scum of the earth. I swear to God. But things this film does well. The cinematography is really good. The locations are beautiful. I can tell that they had a lot of fun filming this. Like at one point they're like in this town and the way the action set piece for this town worked and they have to like get through this little river thing before they can actually go on the bigger part of the river. The way they set that up was great. A lot of like the architecture, like look at this shit. Like this feels like an adventure movie and they got the money for it and the effects, some of it's pretty bad, but a lot of it's good. A lot of it actually is practical. They're on actual ships and stuff. So all of that I liked. I again enjoyed Emily Blunt's character. They have a lot of callbacks to the dad jokes. Basically, you know, Dwayne Johnson's the captain of the ship, so he's going to be like in the ride, he's going to be giving out corny jokes throughout the movie. And I think they used just the right amount of corny jokes. There was the ones that were actually like, "Hey, that's pretty funny. I haven't heard that one before." And then there's the ones that are just like, "Oh my god, really? That made it into the script?" And yeah, I felt like I was on the ride again, man. Um, but never did I think that this film would be made. And are they gonna make it like a Pirates of the Caribbean franchise? No, because again, I don't think the like when Pirates came out, like there was a love for it. Like I at least loved that franchise. Like the way people fucking love Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. There was a time in my life where I like Pirates of the Caribbean that much. Pirates has a very distinct soundtrack. The soundtrack in this film just feels like movie themes. It just feels like, okay, let's make a quick score. Da 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 da. Some swashbuckling shit here and there. Like it wasn't like bad music, but it wasn't like distinct. You know what I mean? You're not gonna remember these characters' names a year from now. You're not gonna remember you're not gonna like look up on YouTube Jungle Cruise best moments. I will say that if you have like a group of kids and you watch this with them, and then maybe 10 years from now, like some of those kids are gonna be like, "Oh, I fucking love Jungle Cruise." There are some films where I'm like, "Really?" And then there are some films where I'm like, "Okay, you know, it's not. I don't love it, but I can get why some people would really love it." I think some people are gonna really fucking love this movie. They're gonna see Emily Blunt in her tight pants and Dwayne Johnson doing action shit, and they're gonna see the big cat here. They're gonna love it, and I fully respect those people. I think there's enough here to carry a good film, a good franchise. We'll wait and see. Uh, any other complaints I had were just maybe some lazy plot convenience writing, you know, just little things like, oh, this person who can't swim is gonna like do some underwater sea diving for like 20 minutes. Okay, like stuff like that you expect from these kind of films. And it's still Disney, so there's gonna be a couple pandering moments. There's gonna be a couple things that are, you know, if you can't stand that shit, then obviously avoid this film. But I, on the other hand, thought it was a very fun time. It's not going to be in my top 5 films of the year or anything, but it was enjoyable enough. Again, if I had like a group of kids and I wanted to show them a fun hoo-ha movie, this is it. I don't know what a hoo-ha movie is, but it does, this falls in line with it. I'm going to give Jungle Cruise a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it. And if you guys enjoyed this review, I have plenty other film reviews on this channel. I have my main channel, your boy Soul. That's where I do all my good content, all my premium content. That's where the big editing stuff goes into. So go subscribe to that. Subscribe to Good Morning Soul, Soul Music. I got a lot of content out here on this thing called YouTube. So go and watch all that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. And with that, I leave you.